I'm Javan Felix, assistant men's coach for UNO Privateers, and you are watching the FanView podcast. And then this is how Rick Barnes saw it. I recruited you because I seen you got a talent, a skill set, and a mindset.
Right.
So I need that for what
we're trying to do.
What we trying to do, and for how I coach and how I shape my teams. So I for sure need you to be an extension of me, and you need to learn how I see it.
Right.
Based on your mindset, your ability, and all of that different stuff. So some dudes didn't even want, some dudes didn't want to even
tough it out.
Yeah. Like some dudes would come on a visit and be like, and watch us at practice or watch us.
It's too much.
Like, nah,
we're not doing this.
We're not doing it. I'm not doing this.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. FanView podcast. You know what it is. I'm DatBoyFred.
Coach Hurricane Hand back at it again.
G Sports in the building. You know what it is. Y'all get locked in. Get subscribed. FanView podcast if you're on YouTube. FanView podcast if you're on TikTok. FanView podcast if you're on IG and on Facebook. We still FanView NOLA if you're still on X somewhere. A lot going on X. Elon update the app. Hit on here to there. But don't forget to follow my man G Sports, man. If y'all, I can't help you if y'all need to rock. My man trying to get the 25K files, still trying to get there.
I'm at 24K right
24K? 1,000 more. Gotta make it happen.
Yeah, you know it.
Y'all already know what it is. But we got another special guest. G, why don't you introduce our guest to everybody?
New Orleans legend. I know he a little humble when you say stuff like that, man. Yeah, but New Orleans legend.
Yeah.
New Orleans legend in the building, man. The Javan Felix, man. UNO assistant basketball coach, man. Appreciate you coming on the podcast, dog, to kind of talk about your journey and fellowship with us a little bit. And we always like to start the FanView podcast off, man, talking about your journey, dog. Take us back, to your childhood days, man, your park ball days, where you fell in love with the game of basketball and how the game of basketball has put you in position to be a successful, young black man in this community right now.
Nah, for sure. So first of all, thank y'all for having me, bro. Appreciate it. This big time. I be watching y'all episodes, so I appreciate it, man, for having me, for bringing me in, for sure. But growing up in New Orleans in the 7th Ward, I'm born and raised in the 7th Ward. I grew up, man, like pretty much everybody else, really grew up playing basketball outside, playing at Stallings Park. And then for park ball, I actually played for Milne.
Got a couple partners play for Milne.
Yes, indeed. Milne Raiders, we elite.
Yeah.
We elite. But I played for Milne, and then took that all the way through Biddy.
Biddy.
I ended up winning a Biddy championship, Biddy All-Star championship. Which was cool, real cool. Played in Slidell.
Yeah.
And from there, AAU took off. And at the beginning, we were the New Orleans Lightning, and then we turned to Panther Select. So then we turned to Panther Select probably around, because I started playing AAU at 9 years old, and I think around 12 we went to Panther Select.
That was Coach Woodnam, huh?
Yeah, Coach Woodnam. Coach Woodnam had the 17. So when I was young, Coach Woodnam had Greg Monroe now.
Yep.
Yeah.
P. Howard was on.
Yeah, P. Howard was coaching. It was Greg Monroe. It was Calvin that went to Cox too.
Yeah.
Reese.
Yeah.
It was buku of them. Buku of them.
That's some ballers though.
Yeah. So, but we used to go on all the same trips. So those big time tournaments back in the day, like when you could go play at the colleges, when you could go play at like NC State or North Carolina, you could go play at Duke. They had a tournament out there every year.
Right.
Bob Givens.
Yep.
Tournament every year. So,
Boo Williams had a big tournament too every year.
Absolutely. In Virginia.
Yep.
Right. So we would, just following them along pretty much because we'd be on the same bus. Because we didn't have teams at every age group. We just had basically the best talent.
Yeah, best talent, yeah.
Yeah, best talent for whatever age group. Yeah. So,
bro.
Yeah, so we were like, broken off. So we was middle school on the bus with Greg and them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then they used to take us to their games after we finished playing.
Right.
So to experience that and to see high level basketball
Right.
at a young age, that was big time for me.
Yep.
And you know, just for perspective wise.
Yep.
And then Baron Davis was my favorite player growing up
Oh.
because he used to be killing.
He been killing. Yeah, he probably was playing for the Hornets at the time.
Yeah, he was playing
Playing
for the Hornets at the time. That's what I'm saying. So when they came down here, the first ever basketball game I ever went to, NBA game, was to go see him play against the Lakers with Kobe, Gary Payton, Shaq, and
Oh,
Carl.
That 4 year.
That
That
game-
4
Yeah.
year.
That's the game. Kobe hit a big shot at the end. He
Yes,
started doing
indeed.
like this.
Yep. Start going to
He
the
started
bench.
doing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
They
that.
called
I was at that game.
Yes, indeed. I was sitting behind the goal.
That's crazy.
Yep. I was sitting behind the
That's
goal,
crazy.
closest to the Laker bench. So I became a Kobe fan that day. Been a Kobe fan since.
Yeah.
I'm also a LeBron fan.
There we
Let me
go.
just throw that out there. I'm definitely a LeBron fan.
What's wrong with that?
There go that man.
But Kobe, Baron Davis, and then I ended up graduating to Darren Williams in high school.
You look like
Yeah.
Darren Williams.
I
say it like that.
model my game after. Swear to God.
Gotcha.
Listen,
Model my game after
I see.
Darren Williams.
I see.
Yeah.
He
I
is
never-
so underrated.
Yeah, facts.
He is
He
so
used to
underrated.
cook Chris
Him and
Paul.
Chris. I was about to say, him and
Yeah.
Chris Paul. Him and Chris Paul used to have some battles though.
He used to cook
Cook.
Chris Paul.
Him and Chris Paul used to have some battles.
But I ain't never grow to be however tall he is.
Right.
But so then from there, you know, just following my passion really or the love for the game, it was just so fun. So you know, the AAU scene growing up, you get to travel with your partners every weekend, go to different places, and we were raised like when we would go out of town, it was us against the world. New Orleans against the world. So we would hold that like we would hold that near and dear to our heart.
Right. Yeah. Pride in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just try to do our thing. So it was a good amount of time, like going up through probably up until 9th grade, we were ranked in the country. We was top 5 for like 4 years straight. We lost in the national championship twice actually, which is crazy. And
Do you remember any big time names from them 2 games?
yeah, they're not really big time no more, but we beat Marcus Smart to go to the championship one
Okay.
year.
Okay.
He played for Team Texas. It was
Okay.
a Nike team. We always had battles with them just because of, you know, the Nike tournament. So
Yep.
we were,
Right.
there was a Nike team, so we always had battles with them. Me and him actually the same age. Good relationship with him too. Good dude, bro. Real good dude. So Marcus Smart, I say y'all remember Yogi Ferrell?
Yeah, that small played in Indiana.
Yeah.
Come on.
He played for Indiana
Tough.
Elite.
Mhm.
He was tough.
Yep.
Tough
so
little
played
guard.
played against them.
He like your height, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like my height. And of course we had our battles with the Atlanta Celtics. They had a bunch of dudes on.
That's who
on the Atlanta
Anthony Edwards played with.
Right.
That organization been around.
Yeah, been around. Been around. They've been putting out dudes.
Right.
Cause when we, like I said, when we was young, they had Dwight, they had
Josh Smith.
Josh Smith on that
Yep.
team.
Yep.
They had like Javaris Crenton.
Yep.
Yeah. I forgot about
Yeah.
Javars.
Yeah, they had all kind of dudes, bro. All
Good
kind of
pull,
dudes.
good.
So
Right.
So yeah, like I was saying, so seeing Greg and them play against that kind of competition and really hold it on, like and beat them dudes
Yeah.
for real. So that was big time for me growing up, dog. Big time.
Now, tell the audience here, high school basketball.
Yeah.
What school you go to?
What school I went to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went to St. Aug. All day.
Purple Knights, AP tour, stand up.
Yes,
Talk
indeed.
about your high school experience playing high school basketball. Some of the people that you model to get to your level in
Yeah.
high school basketball.
So first of all, I want to say I give Coach Barthay, Coach Mitch Johnson, he just got named
hired
Coach
this star.
Yep.
Everett Jones,
Mhm.
Marcus DeLarge, he a judge now. Those 4 pretty much helped shape me at St. Aug because when I got there, I was a part of the first 7th grade class of St. Aug.
Okay.
The first 7th
So they
grade
didn't have 7th grade before you got there.
Nah.
No.
Did not know that.
So right after Katrina, they started 7th grade.
Okay, did not know that.
Yep.
It always started at 8th grade.
Yep.
Oh, instead of
Yeah.
8th grade.
8th
Okay.
grade, and then the 8th grade was like on a different campus, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And it'll lead into, but after Katrina, you know, the numbers wasn't high like that, so we all was
Right.
in one building. So that allowed me to practice with the varsity team as a 7th grader. I was good enough, I was skilled enough and competitive enough to do it, and I ain't really have a choice, to be honest. They made me. So I would do man, after school, because y'all know after school you go freshman, JV, then varsity practice.
Right.
So I would go freshman practice, and a good amount of us, or the good amount of the dudes on freshmen that were actually freshmen, because I played freshman my 7th grade year and 8th grade year, were on the JV team.
Right.
So they'll let me chill for JV practice. I jump in sometimes when I need to. They scrimmaging or something.
Right.
But then varsity practice, I was always on scout team for 2 years, 7th and 8th grade on the varsity team.
Man, that's some good reps.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I practiced
So
with them.
You had 9 years of just.
Yeah. Yep. So it challenged me for sure. I was never scared to get out there, but I was like smaller, you know, I wasn't as strong as everybody. But I had confidence in my skills. So I just, you know, just tried my best. And I just kept chipping away, kept getting better. And then my freshman year, I started on varsity and never looked back.
Question I want to ask you.
Yep.
In Louisiana, we know, this football is king. Why do you think basketball don't get the respect as much as, because like when you think about some of just the city, I'm not even talking about the state, just the city for sure. Greg Monroe, Danny Granger, DJ Augustine,
Alpha Payton.
Albert Payton.
That's your class.
You know what I'm saying? Like the list
Bo.
goes, Bo, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on of just talented basketball players that had made it to the elite level. Why do you think the support is not truly there for the city wise?
Couple things, but before that, you said Bo name.
Mm-hmm.
I shout out to Bo.
Yeah.
Just got his degree.
Yep.
He finished.
Louisiana Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir. Louisiana Hall of Fame.
Stand up.
And going to probably have his jersey retired soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Should have been happy.
Right. And so just a little bit about that. Bo, the first college game I ever went to was to see Bo play. So that gave me the motivation to play college. In the
I saw him a lot in high school.
Right, in the piece and
in a bad way.
Right.
Yeah, in a bad way. We did.
Yep. But I would say couple things why we not really respected for basketball is, number one, football down here is king, like you said, but it's a rich tradition in football.
Right.
Dudes is leaving from out of here in football and going to do amazing stuff. Like, amazing. So that's number one. Number two, we got the mindset, and usually we skilled enough, but we don't always have the intangibles, like a 6'5" point guard, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
How
the eye test.
Right, the eye test. And we always in a position to where we have to prove ourselves, which is not the worst thing in the world, because it teach you to have some kind of edge and, be competitive out there. But the eye test is
Play a big part.
Yeah, play a big part, and it's something that we fail just because people are spoiled looking at
6'8".
Yeah,
all that can shoot.
Right, like Texas. Texas is, you could debate whether it's basketball, football.
Yeah,
you can debate it.
Right, but in basketball, they got big dudes playing skill positions in basketball.
Right,
and they always gonna put out talent. You know what I'm saying? So having us right next to them, that affects us, I would say. And then having Florida not too far away, and they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
Just with all of the athletes. So I would say us, Mississippi, Alabama, we kind of overlooked a little bit in basketball, but we kind of make it work.
I think a element that I think we don't think about sometimes, and I talk about it all the time when we had, college coaches just like you come on a podcast. When we do get guys like that, you know what they do? They leave.
They leave.
Absolutely.
They leave.
Right.
They leave.
Right.
They go to somebody, find out about them on the circuit, or they get win, and next thing you know, they junior year or they senior year, they go on to Finley Prep.
Yep.
Or they going somewhere in Kansas, and
I would say Chris Senac is a good example of that right now.
Yeah. Radcliffe that went to Booker T.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you remember
the kid from up north.
The kid that played at SMU. Ferran.
Oh yeah.
Hunt.
Yeah. That's
he came from
crazy.
Carl?
Yes.
He was at Cole. I don't know if you remember Big Kyrie.
Yeah.
Big Kyrie left,
Yep.
went to Texas, went to some school in Texas. Like
Yeah.
Maximilian.
Yeah.
The left hand,
Yes,
6'3"
sir.
point guard. He left.
Yes, sir.
Like, that's what be happening, bro. When you get guys down here that got that shot, somebody find out about them, dog. In our area, in Homer, we had the big kid. That he played at Southern this year, DeAndre Thomas.
Yep.
He left him with the legacy in Houston.
That's crazy.
How do we put a border on?
Kelly Uber is from Kennedy Heights.
Well, his situation, he left because of the storm.
The storm.
That's a little different.
I played at Milne with him.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's a little different. You know what I'm saying? The kid Francis that played in the Final Four.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
From Houston.
From Houston.
He was down here and he left.
Yeah, he left. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
People got winning. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big part of why Louisiana don't get the respect, because if all them dudes stay, then people now this becomes a pipeline for more colleges to want to come to, and now you start getting people saying, "Hey, you got to go to Louisiana, man. They got kids down there," versus kids leaving and going to these different prep schools, and because you know what was happening, man. They money involved,
Yeah,
right? Selling them dreams. They telling them, "Look, if you leave, we could do this for you." And when you got somebody that don't understand the process and is green to the situation and they don't come from nothing,
and they do the name test for all the alumni. Look, this what people like. You can't help.
It's recruiting.
You can't help.
It's recruiting.
That's exactly what
it's recruiting.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And so I think that's a major part of why we don't get the respect that we deserve. But I do want to touch on going back to your high school, man. I remember watching you in high school, bro, and y'all used to put on the show. I think the dudes you played with, like Craig Victor and Shaheed London and all them boys, like y'all look like a college team. Like when I can't watch y'all play, I'm like, dog, this look like a lower D1 team.
Yeah.
NAIA maybe. And so what I can't wrap my head around, Javan, how in the hell y'all only won one state championship, bro? I gotta know from the horse's mouth, like how y'all only won one.
I would say this: my freshman year, we lost in the third round.
Who I lost to?
I can't remember.
Wasn't Selman, huh?
No, it wasn't Selman. It was I think it was Huntington.
Okay.
Shreveport.
Yeah, and then obviously my sophomore year, we lost to Brother Martin. Crazy.
That team was
but we shouldn't have. They cheat. We shouldn't have lost. I had 3 fouls in the first half. That's the only game in my high school career. I had 3 fouls in the first half. Home cooking. It was at Brother Martin. It was at Brother Martin. And I say this: there was a conversation at McDonald's 2 hours before tip with referees and somebody else. I say that about Javan is a strong guard. Watch him pushing around and getting his way to get in the lane.
We gotta bring Rory back.
So I had 3 fouls in the first half. I ended up fouling out in the fourth quarter, and they went on the run to win. So I sat majority of the fourth quarter, really, like 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, and they went on the run to win. Now they were a good team. Pat Swilling was on that team. He was cooking, cooking that whole year. They had a good team, and they ended up winning the championship.
They
won that year.
What they beat in the championship?
Peabody. I mean, not Peabody. Scotlandville.
What your boy that went to Vanderbilt? Damien? Damien was on that team?
He was young. He
Yeah,
was young. He a year younger than me.
Yeah, Damien. Talking about Damien Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he a year younger than me, but he was young. But they had a dude named Pancake that was on their team. I don't know where he ended up going, but he was good. He was good. I think he was a 2-sport athlete too at Scotlandville.
Okay.
But they ended up winning that. So no excuse. I mean, I know I just gave a reason, but no excuse. We should have won. I should have been better. Should have been smarter. Cool. When I seen how they was calling the game. As a point guard, I'm supposed to be
right.
I'm supposed to.
But then again, you don't want that affecting the way you play. You just play.
Absolutely. I'm just playing. Right. We won in my junior year, and then my senior year, we went to 4A and had to play Easton in the playoffs, and dude straight tackled me at Easton. I was getting an outlet pass, dude straight tackled me. I had a stress fracture in my knee, I had a fracture in my ankle, and like a grade 2 sprain in my foot. So my whole right leg was just
done.
Yeah, it was done. And I tried to play on it. I shouldn't have, knowing I was going, playing at Texas or whatever.
Texas,
right? I shouldn't have.
Competitor.
Yeah, I wanted that ring. But we ended up still making it to the state championship. We lost to Peabody by it wasn't a blowout, but we it was a good game. At Louisiana Tech.
Right.
But I mean, I think if I'm not hurt, then I think we win 2 in a row, for sure.
So I'm gonna let you know what some of the naysayers.
Some of the naysayers.
Some of the naysayers feel like why y'all didn't win more state championships when you was there. They felt like
Keep it a buck.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm trying to find a right way to put it though. Y'all got a little complacent. Because y'all had guys.
I don't disagree.
Like y'all wasn't really challenged.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Cause playing in the city, my junior and senior year, it wasn't nobody that was really.
Dog, because I remember, dog, I don't know who. One game I came to, bro, I can't remember. It might have been Call. Y'all might have been playing Call. Dog,
we made sure we played Call every year.
Dog, y'all was throwing. Dog, I'm talking about throwing Alex off the backboard.
Yeah,
like
we started the game at Call. We started the game first play of the game off the tip. We threw a lob.
Like y'all, they was just doing some shit. Like I'm like, so that was like what a lot of people were saying. Like saying, oh, ain't gonna. The reason why they didn't win most state championships because they had guys that knew they was going to play college ball and they knew, they had chance to go be pros,
right?
And they got complacent.
I don't disagree. I really don't disagree because those last 2 years, majority of our games, well, not majority of them, but a good amount of our games were out of town. We was searching for other competition.
Right.
Yeah, so we went to Florida, St. Louis, Myrtle Beach, just buku different places, Mississippi, and just trying to find real smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Did y'all didn't play Vanderbilt with Lionheart? Did y'all play any of them years?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
They had a good little team.
They did.
Yeah. With him and Elijah McGuire.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Okay. We definitely got a little complacent and we thought, like, we got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we was smoking people in the city. We wasn't really having no close game. Like we played Jesuit. Jesuit was in our not conference. What they call it? District. In our district. Them people held the ball for like 2 quarters against us. We still end up winning, but the score was like 31-29 or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Just held the ball.
But like people used to do that kind of stuff against us. And obviously you do what you want to do to win.
Right.
I'm a coach now. Like I understand. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do to win. But yeah, we definitely got a little complacent.
Let's talk about the time at Texas. High school's over.
Yes, sir.
It's D1 ball now. Tell everybody about your experience playing D1 ball and how the challenges that you have, or just any player.
Yeah.
That needs to what it takes to play D1 ball and some of the challenges you're gonna face. And some of the challenges you had to face.
For sure. So I'm gonna start with me first. Starting off the bat, leaving from here and going and playing the Big 12 was the best basketball conference in the country at the time. SEC now today.
Right.
But at the time it was us, Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Who else?
Iowa State.
Iowa State's tough.
Yes.
West Virginia, tough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bob Huggins was coaching that. Yeah.
Was tough. So we never had no easy games in conference. Let's start there. So I knew already, like I was walking into some fire. Growing up, watching DJ play in the city,
right,
and watching him go to Texas, that put it on my mind. Like I probably won't go to Texas.
Right.
Then, and before him, seeing TJ Ford in the Superdome in the Final Four
against Carmelo,
against Melo, them.
Yes.
I was like, dang, he really doing this thing. He the smallest person in the building.
He's one of the best point guards to play college basketball.
TJ Ford, my favorite player. Like that's what I grew up idolizing.
For real?
Yeah.
No.
I wore number 11 in high school because of TJ.
Man,
he was like that.
Yes.
He was like that.
Love TJ.
And I'm a Duke fan.
Love TJ Ford.
For sure.
Him and Jason Williams, I was like, at that time, I was like, dog, that's some of the best point guards. And Juan Dixon, I was like, dog, I ain't never seen anybody really could play guard like that.
Absolutely. Yep. So those dudes motivated me to go to Texas. I had a bunch of offers. I did my thing. I blew up my last 2 summers. I had a bunch of offers, but I always wanted to go to Texas. I was waiting on that Texas offer.
Right.
So I get to Texas. Boom, get there in the summer. I graduate like the May 26th or something like that, and I was out there the next day. Finished graduation. Everything was already packed. Gone the next day. So, getting adjusted to the college life, number one, was different for me because coming from New Orleans, and then going to Texas, where it's like almost 70,000 undergrad
right
on campus. So you seeing new people every day. You seeing all kind of different stuff every single day. It's an adjustment. And I went to St. Aug. St. Aug is all black school. I know I'm light skinned, but it's all black school.
Right.
All black school. So
right.
I never like had to experience
the culture shock.
The culture shock was crazy. I never had to experience like just living regular life, going to class, whatever, going to sit in the cafeteria, going to eat with just other cultures.
Other cultures.
Hispanics,
Asians,
everything. So that was very different. Very different. That hit me in the face soon as I got there. And then, the basketball wise, playing for Rick Barnes, Hall of Fame coach, still doing this thing, just was in the Elite Eight with Tennessee. So playing for him, he was demanding. Very, very, very demanding. Everything was my fault because I'm the point guard. I end up, doing a really good job, leading into the season. So I started majority of the year, pretty much, as a freshman, which was big time. Big time.
And unheard of.
Yeah. Facts.
12,
So I started a good amount. My freshman year, majority, I'd probably say like 90% of the year. Because at the end, Mike Cabango came back from like a suspension, and he played, I want to say 6 games or something like that. And he didn't get to play that whole year, really. So
I really thought that with him going to Texas, that was gonna make you end up going to Baylor or A&M or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he was a highly recruited dude coming up.
Right.
So full disclaimer, I was a Louisville and Texas fan growing up.
Sure.
Rick Pitino, my favorite coach of all time, and Texas was my favorite team. Yeah,
he one of my favorites.
And Texas was my favorite team because of TJ Ford. So I followed their recruiting. I knew everything. When you went there, I was like, fucking right, man. Somebody from the boot going to one of my favorite teams.
Yeah.
So I knew Mike Cabango, and I was like, yeah, why Javan going there, man? Mike Cabango going there.
Right. So
that was the thing when players at that same go to the same school. That's like, well, who gonna play? Who wants to play?
That was two different type of guards.
Yeah, we was two different. See, I knew looking at him and playing against him on the circuit, I knew I was gonna have a chance to play though, because he was at the time, like when we was young. At the time, he was one speed. He was all fast, all fast and athletic. He was faster than everybody.
Couldn't shoot though.
In any gym he walked in, he was the fastest dude in the gym. So if he get in transition, you pass it to him, he 2 dribbles at the rim.
Yep.
He getting somebody else a layup. You know what I'm saying? But I know in college it's too detail oriented. People scouting every single detail. You're gonna have to, do different stuff. So I knew I was gonna be able to play and just have an opportunity. I had no idea I was gonna start.
Right.
But I know I was gonna be able to play. So and then also too, on the flip side of that, he was like the #1 point guard in the country the year before.
Yep.
So, that come with some things. Like he done learned through a bunch of different stuff. So seeing the experiences he had to go through, the attention he was getting, how coach was treating him, how our other teammates responded to him, how they responded to him on campus, how he worked in the weight room. Like I was watching all of that. And just took that day by day and just tried to make it my own. You know what I'm saying? So and then, with Coach Barnes, I was a freshman, so he ain't let up off me at all. If we running a play and our big is slow getting down the court and he messed the play up, he fussing at me, he ain't fussing at him. I'm supposed to have that. I'm supposed to be in command of all of that. Like, he's supposed to know when I got the ball, you ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to hold yourself to such a high standard that these dudes, when they're around you, they get to your level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he held me to that standard every single day, no matter what. And we bumped heads a lot my freshman year, just because I was like, damn, like I ain't doing nothing right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't doing nothing right. we had and then every year we scrimmage Davidson in a closed scrimmage and Gonzaga in a closed scrimmage.
Ooh, that's some good scrimmage.
Every single season. So my first competition in the scrimmage at Texas was against Davidson.
Steph.
And no, Steph was gone, but they had some smoke.
Yeah.
Like they always have good teams.
Yeah, and they
Right.
run some good stuff.
Discipline.
Discipline, yep.
They gonna run good stuff. They gonna pick on you.
Yep.
And they gonna talk crazy. They coach talk crazy too.
Mm.
A lot of people don't see it, but
Right.
but his version of talking crazy is say we run a play and score on you. Oh, he gotta stop. Go at him again. He gotta stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He stopped it. Nah, I ain't really have nothing to do with him. Go at him again. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So
Mind games.
yeah, mind game. So you know, playing through all of that. So I actually end up having a decent game, like 20. A little more than 20. I don't know.
That's better than
Yeah.
decent for a freshman.
For a freshman. So I was feeling good about myself.
Right.
Swear to God, I was feeling good. We coming there the next morning for film. He had 10 clips. First 10 clips of film was things that I did wrong, and it was like details. And I was like, what we doing?
What we doing?
You know what I'm saying? But from that, it taught me to, you know, never too high, never too low. I've always been like that anyway, but the super importance of it at the college level, especially as the point guard.
Right.
And then it always gave me like I was big on film. I'm still big on film right now. I watch film every day, all day. But it showed me how to break down film of number one, myself and the team just way different.
Way different.
As a freshman. So coming up with that formula and taking it through the rest of my career, even to now, like was super helpful. So that was an adjustment. And then obviously the competition, like you playing against real pros every night. And we wasn't scheduling no garbage games. You know what I'm saying? Coach Barnes ain't believing that.
No,
No, indeed.
If you're good enough to come here, you're good enough to play against these competition.
Right. Our first game, like first real game, was against Fresno State, and they were decent at the time. And then we went to Maui.
It's a big tournament.
Yeah.
Tournament time.
And that was crazy. You know, like to see the national audience and the national media coverage in such a small gym. That gym in Maui, like biggest Delgado.
Yeah, it ain't that big. So you can see it on TV.
He big.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this ain't big at all.
Yeah. So to see that and you know experience that.
I watch that shit every year.
That was me too.
Yeah.
I only watch it the years that Duke participate in it.
Chill out. I just caught that L. Chill out.
Hey, you don't talk about championships.
Man.
Final four, baby.
Yeah.
But so what you saying all that, how you and Rick Barnes bumped heads, did you ever call home to your parents and say, man, I want to get out of here?
No.
Because you know that's the first thing we do.
Yeah.
When adversity hit, when tough times come, we ready to skip and get on.
But no, I never did that. I never called home to try and get out of there. Never. Number one, like I already know my mom, my pops, it's not going for none of that. You better not even call and think about like, cause to them it's like, you quitting? You done ran into some adversity, you quitting? When you start doing that?
Love to hear it.
So I never even thought about.
You got different generation parents.
Yeah. So I never thought about that, to be honest. I could never pick up the phone to be like, man, this man too hard on me. I gotta get out of here.
Right.
Never. I could never do that. They might bust out laughing right there. I could be stone cold serious crying. They might bust out laughing. But
That's
never.
what made you who you are today.
Yeah, never that. So I would call home and talk about like, man, I just can't get this man off my back. Like I don't know, like what can I do to
you were trying to figure it out.
I was trying to figure it out. Like, cause it was, man, my freshman year it was a point in the time in the season where I was like, I wasn't playing to my abilities, I feel like, because I was trying to please him. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn through that. You know what I'm saying? That's something that a lot of dudes in college
Go through.
Go through because they want to be not liked, but they want to be in good favor.
The coach.
Yeah, with their coach.
Yeah.
They want to play so that the people at home can see them, and you know they want to be successful. But like how you deal with that is key.
Yeah,
It's very, very key how you deal with that. And I hated my freshman year, but I thank God for it.
Yeah,
because it helped shape me in my career, to be honest. So when you say like what people have to, go through and what they got to get ready for, stuff like that you don't see that, because this man's job is to win games. You know what I'm saying? And he's not going to leave any stone unturned until we find the right formula.
Because a lot of people got this mindset or position that because they are maybe a highly rated recruit, that hey, listen, they coming in here, they coming into this program, but people coming paying to watch maybe this kid or maybe your team.
Yeah.
But people don't notice what goes on when the cameras ain't here,
right?
And when the people ain't here,
for sure.
Like he got to coach that kid.
Yeah.
Either he may have had a great game. That don't mean he still need to be coached. That don't mean that
Facts.
it's in that win is all hey, how y'all doing? But
behind closed doors
tomorrow,
yeah,
it's filmed this thing like that. So I think it's good for people to hear what happens when the cameras are not on, or people not paying attention. Those are real things. People just everybody go on to their lives and think, okay, they're gonna play again next time. They can
That's
be
a real thing.
Nah, dog.
That's a real thing. And then also too, not taking none of that personal though.
Yep.
Like you got to understand that this is in the grand scheme of winning. Like we all here trying to win. You know what I'm saying? And there's things you could be doing better so that we can win. I need to tell you. I have to be honest with you. I don't care how it come off, but you rather me just be like, nah, just let him go and start playing this dude, or you rather me tell you to your face every day in front of everybody because you messed up in front of everybody. We ain't about to bring you in a closed door and be like, man, look, you've been doing, like, bro, you messing up. Like, you costing this dude, you costing it, like all of us.
Right.
So, like, that was how I was coached from Rick Barnes. And it just held me to a high standard. So going into my sophomore year, I was kind of ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
knew what to expect.
Yeah, I knew what to expect, and I knew what standard I had to hold, in order to be successful. And especially playing against the Marcus Smarts, playing against the P.J. Jacksons, playing against the Perry Jones. All of them different dudes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody at Kansas. Like, I played against so many dudes at Kansas, Ben McLemore, Andrew Wiggins, the twins, Thomas Robinson, Jeff Whitty. Like, all them dudes. Like, played against all of them dudes.
All players.
Sharon, you played against Sharon, huh?
No, I ain't played against Sharon. He was the year before. Yep, he was the year before me. I played against man, what's his name? He number 10. He ended up getting drafted by the Nets. Point guard. He was tall.
For the Kansas?
Sean Lip?
Yeah, for Kansas. Dog skinned dude. I can't. It wasn't Sharon Collins. It's gonna hit me. But
Langford?
Nope. He was before me.
Yeah, you're right.
Sharon was gone. Who came after that with Ben McLemore?
Man, I can't think of this dude's name, bro. But he was a senior. Tyshawn Taylor.
Oh, yeah. I remember Tyshawn Taylor.
Tyshawn Taylor. He was nice.
Yeah.
And he was like 6'4".
Yeah.
He was nice. He was a senior when I was a freshman. So, playing against all of them kind of dudes and, like, knowing that there's a scouting report out there about me. You know what I'm saying? Right. I have tendencies. I have things that I do all the time just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So working on that kind of stuff, watching a lot of film like you was talking about, but then also like working on my relationship with the coach. I think that's very important at any stage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially as a point guard too.
Absolutely.
Because you're the extension.
Yep.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, talk about the importance of relationship, not mainly the head coach, because the head coach, the CEO and everything, but like those assistant coaches, the ones that's your position coach that kind of like get you to the next level, but like mature you and actually build that relationship.
Those dudes, the coaches, the support staff, the managers, the GAs, the special assistants, the academic people with their GAs and everybody that's around to help support, you have to have a good relationship with them. You have to, because you see them every day, literally every day. Our schedule at Texas, we would wake up in the morning, lift weights at 7, go to class, all class until about 12:30, study hall at 1 to 2:30, practice at 3, and until whatever time Coach Barnes feel like he seen enough. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we'll have 3-hour practices. Sometimes we'll be running the same play for 20 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. But having the support and having the people in your corner to help you be successful off the court too was super important. So obviously treating them people with respect, owning up to your word. They tell you, look, we know you need tutoring for this. Tutoring is at such and such time in between these classes. Are you good with that? Yes. You told them, you gave them your word. Now you need to be there. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like all of that stuff is super important, and it help, your development.
Right.
On and off the court. Cause, like you play basketball, how many, like 2 hours, 3 hours a day, you know what I'm saying? At the, on average for the most part, like you're gonna go work out and stuff like that, but still, that's still a small part of your day, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you still got to be a human. You still got to develop that way.
Right.
And I think that's one of the main things that some of these, especially like some of these newer athletes, like I hear them sometimes. I hear them like when they on recruiting visits, like when we have some kids from our schools out there, and like a coach is like, I remember being at LSU, and it just shocked me. Cortez Hankton, who's probably like one of the best at his position, and as a kid on a visit, and his teammate is like, man, why you talking to him? He ain't the main guy. He ain't gonna do it. Like, you don't understand the game at all. Because if your whole idea in thinking that you're gonna be successful in college is getting Brian Kelly attention, you're not gonna spend. You might spend 40 minutes a day with Brian Kelly.
That's what I'm saying.
Team meet.
Yeah.
Everything else, this guy.
For sure.
That's position coach.
Yeah.
That for this generation of athletes, that mindset has to change.
Yeah, it has to. It has to. And I see it now, by me coaching. And recruiting and stuff like that. The entitlement is through the roof.
Yes.
So you see it more so from the players or from the parents?
Both.
Because they both understand what's out there to get. You know what I'm saying? In the world of NIL, like you have to tell him no before, you have to. And then obviously and then that is multifaceted too, because now you gotta see how they respond.
Right, respond to no.
You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a huge part of the entitlement. That's that matter of fact, that's what a lot of, like, when you see dudes going to school early in the summers or they graduate in January and stuff like that, them first few months, that's what they knocking out of you. They breaking the bottom out of that. They're getting that entitlement out your system. Showing you really got to start over. You know what I'm saying? From the ground up.
So you see it like an early enrollee or somebody comes in early. Yeah. They're trying to get those habits out.
Yeah, they're knocking it out you early. That's why they want you there.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw you right in the fire. They want,
they want
to break you down, build you back up. Yep.
Well,
so
I mean, obviously though, and as you know, a lot of these guys been the man all their life.
Yep.
And they've been having so many people kiss their ass all their life. And they've been having so many people that probably allowed all these bad habits for so long. And then now when you get into a situation where you ain't the best one in the gym,
all bad habits get you beat.
You know what I'm saying? And now you got somebody that's gonna hold you accountable.
Yep.
It's a tall task for some of them kids, and I think that's why a lot of them hit a wall when they first enter college.
Absolutely.
But talk about your transition from Rick Barnes to Shaka Smart, and how you had to adjust your game, because they coaching styles is different.
It's very different.
Their personalities are different.
Yeah.
Old school versus new school. Talk about how you transitioned from Rick Barnes to Shaka Smart.
That's a good question. So obviously Rick Barnes, hard-nosed, super detail-oriented offensively. Not to say he couldn't coach defense, because when we was there, we had good defenses. We was top 10 a good majority of the time in all the defensive numbers. But the way Rick Barnes saw offense was different than Shaka. The way Rick Barnes saw offense, that's how Shaka see defense.
Right.
So
he known for pressing, and
the philosophy was totally different. Totally different. So learning that, number one, and being open to getting yourself to a place to where you open to changing like that. Because he coming with totally different style, picking up full court every single play. Just a bunch of different stuff.
That's how they beat Duke.
Yeah, right.
At VCU.
for sure.
You right.
Y'all couldn't handle the press.
Wreak havoc.
Felt that way. Felt that way against Houston.
We don't need all that.
Hey, and your coach can't handle the strippers. So.
Oh man.
Continue.
He was waiting on that. He was waiting on that. So with Shaka, it was more of a it was like a lighter approach. Like he not the kind of dude that's just gonna be on you all day, every day.
Right.
Like he coach you through positivity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he'll have the same points, but he'll get to it way different.
Gotcha.
Way different. Like
Different path.
yeah, he'll tell you something like I come off the ball screen, boom, I make a read, turn it over. Timeout. He'll come tell me like, bro, you done worked on this all week. We done ran this play however many times. We we've been working on what defense they've been playing against you. So you know what to do, bro. You better than that. Like let's lock in. He'll approach you like that.
Right. Different style of coaching.
Right. So getting used to that was different.
Gotcha.
Was different.
You mean that in a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Okay.
It was in a good way.
Okay.
In a good way. It was different because coming from Barnes, like, you know, at practice, we not shell shook, but we on our P's and Q's like,
right.
Like this man, we don't know how he feeling.
Right.
Like
suicides upon us that we messed this up.
That's what I'm saying. like we walked in there one day, random. We walked in practice. So at Texas, it's different now because they got a different facility. But our facility, our locker room and weight room was downstairs. We had the whole bottom floor was just, you know, lounge area, training room, all that different stuff. So we would warm up in the weight room and go up the stairs to practice. As soon as we open the door and run out there, we need to be ready. You know what I'm saying? We went out there one day and our jerseys wasn't tucked in. 17s, get on the line. Sideline. We got to run 17 touches in a minute to start the day. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff Barnes used to do. Shaka wasn't on that, you know, he wasn't on that type of time. Now I don't want y'all to think that Shaka don't have it in him.
Right.
Yeah.
He just coached differently. He had a different method.
Yeah, he go about it a different way.
He go about a different way.
He just go about it a different way. So that was the biggest adjustment, just learning his demeanor, his attitude towards everything, and how he saw the game too was just a little different. But once you kind of you know, go through some practices, go through a couple of months with him, then you kind of know.
You kind of know.
Why you think Shaka couldn't win like people thought he was going to do at Texas like Rick Barnes did?
I don't think he had the full support from everybody on campus.
Gotcha.
That you know, that the previous coaches had, or that you know, like Rick Barnes was there for a long time. So it was kind of like a situation was like, you know, you're a younger dude, you got to prove it to us before we really get on board with this. You know what I'm saying? You got to prove that this stuff works with us on this higher level. You know what I'm saying? And that was what he was met with. And he still was successed.
Yeah,
he still was successful.
It just
wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't the standard.
The standard.
Yeah, because Rick Barnes has put a
right.
He made the standard so high.
Yeah.
That when Shaka got there, you know, people just thought that they were gonna automatically start being national championship contenders.
How did the team take it? You know, you go from pretty much a May State, and Rick Barnes to you know, everybody followed basketball, so it was like, all right, Shaka Smart, he been doing good, but he been doing it at VCU. You know, he coming from a mid-major. It's big time ball now. You know, how did the team take it? Like, man, we losing a Hall of Fame guy for this guy.
I mean, different dudes took it different ways, just because, you know, obviously he was hard on dudes. So some dudes was happy to see him go.
Right.
And excited for a new opportunity, especially how Shaka came in there, you know, just with a different demeanor. Some dudes were like scared of what could come next, because we didn't know, like, man, what's about to happen. He might bring a whole new set of dudes in here and sit us on the bench. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So kind of like tapping into that freshman bag a little bit again to like prove yourself and show that, you know, I belong. And, you know, I know our coach just got fired, but we still like that. We still can hoop. We still good. Like, we can compete. We do our thing. You know what I'm saying? So putting that foot forward and learning all of the different tactics and
terminology.
Terminology, all that different stuff.
Hearing you say that and really break down how Rick Barnes was as a coach, I think just the kind of player I was, I could have played with Rick Barnes. That's just me. Everybody different.
Mm-hmm.
But I was listening to a podcast with TJ Ford.
Yeah.
I want to say that was Mike Williams on that podcast. I can't remember. I could be wrong about that, but I think it was Mike Williams. You remember Mike Williams?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said that Tristan Thompson, Royal Ivy,
Definitely had Avery.
he named like 4 like big time players that played at Texas. Told him when he was getting recruited, boy, do not come here and play for no Rick Barnes. He crazy. You ain't gonna want to play for him. Like he said this on a podcast with TJ Ford, and TJ Ford kind of was like, man, you just gotta know how to deal with him.
Nah,
So,
for real.
So hearing you like really, because TJ ain't like break it down how you did.
Yeah.
But hearing how you saying how demanding he was and how he, wanted to hold you to the standard, everybody just can't handle it.
Nah, everybody can't handle it.
Everybody can't handle it.
Everybody can't handle it, and
I would have wanted that.
Yeah, for
me,
sure,
personally.
And then this how Rick Barnes saw it. I recruited you because I seen you got a talent, a skill set, and a mindset.
Right.
So I need that for what
we're trying to do.
What we trying to do, and for how I coach and how I shape my teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I for sure need you to be an extension of me, and you need to learn how I see it.
Right.
Based on your mindset, your ability, and all of that different stuff. So some dudes didn't even want, some dudes didn't want to even
tough it out.
Yeah. Like some dudes would come on a visit and be like, and watch us at practice or watch us.
It's too much.
Like, nah,
we're not doing this.
We're not doing it. I'm not doing this. But then we'll play against them a year later, 2 years later, and blow the doors off. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be like, well,
it works.
It works. It works.
How close were you to going to? I know you saying Texas was your dream school, but did Baylor and A&M really have a fighting chance?
A&M didn't. Baylor was in my top 3.
What was your top 3?
My top 3 was Texas, UCLA, and Baylor.
How UCLA got into it?
It's UCLA.
UCLA when
no, they wasn't.
This was Kevin Love. No,
Kevin Love.
This is after.
Yeah, this was after them.
This was after.
I can't.
Who was in this era?
You talking about TJ? No.
No,
not TJ Lee.
They wasn't really that good because Ben Holland was there at the time, the head coach.
So OJ wasn't even that. OJ was.
OJ went to USC.
Yeah.
OJ went to USC.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, but he was gone.
He was gone.
He was gone.
That's like 06.
Yeah. But I almost went to UCLA because growing up playing on the circuit, going to all of them camps, I became good friends with because they had a good class going in. Kyle Anderson, that's my boy.
Okay. Slow-mo.
Yeah, slow-mo.
Yeah.
We like real partners.
Right.
Shabazz Muhammad.
Shabazz.
Oh,
God.
Name.
Underachiever.
That's a big
Hey, number one player in the country.
Underachiever. Oh, God. Number one player in the country.
Number one player in the country.
Couldn't shoot. What skill? It was super athletic and fast.
Yep. So Kyle Anderson, Shabazz Muhammad, Tony Parker, Jordan Adams, who played for Atlanta Celtics.
Yeah. Jordan Adams.
And who else was over there?
They had a good class.
Yeah, but we all was gonna go together. And I honestly I really almost went there. But I don't know if y'all remember the name Dominic Artis.
No, I don't remember that
He
one.
played for Oakland Soldiers. Point guard.
That's LeBron.
Yeah, point guard. But he committed it had to be like 3-something in the morning when I was about to go on my visit in 2 days. And like they had put it out or something, like it got out to the internet or something like that.
Right.
And he committed like 3 in the morning. So they called me one day. I was in biology class at St. Aug. They called me and was like, hey, we're gonna have to cancel the visit, man. We gotta commit. So I immediately hit them boys like, I ain't coming. And it was hot. Because we was all going on the visit together.
They got together.
Yeah, we was all going on the visit together. We was all like, and we was gonna try and commit, but didn't happen. It didn't work out like that. So boom, moved on to the next one. So then Baylor was recruiting me since I was like a sophomore. Them and Alabama were the hardest too to tell no, pretty much. Anthony Grant was at Alabama at the time.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So Ricardo Gathers
Yeah.
was y'all was in the same class?
Yeah, we're in the same class.
Yeah, so y'all was trying to go together.
Yeah, we was gonna go together. Yep.
So Pierre Jackson was before you, right?
Well, Pierre Jackson had did 2 years of JUCO
Sure did.
before me, and his first year at Baylor was my freshman year. So that's why I didn't go to Baylor. So I went on my visit to Baylor.
That nigga was dog.
That team was that was a nice team. That
Yeah,
was
it was a nice team.
Yeah.
Pe-
They used to
Jones,
get Panthers problems.
Yes.
Perry
Nice
Jones,
team. Quincy Miller.
Quincy Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, Quincy
Freddie
Miller.
Heslop, the white boy,
Yep.
was knocking
Yeah.
shots down.
Yep.
Quincy AC.
Yeah, he said AC. Quincy AC. Yeah.
It's an AC.
Yeah. So that's who Ricardo went there to replace because he was a senior that year.
Mhm.
So they was like, we need you because he about to leave. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't go there because Pierre Jackson, but they didn't tell me that they had signed him. They was kind of keeping that a secret a little bit.
Right.
So I get there on my visit, and visit going real good. I hooped and everything. We played pickup. And then I'm in the locker room after the game, and they was just talking about Pierre. The players was. I ain't never asked no questions or
Right,
but I peep game. Like, y'all
Right.
like and then one of them was like, yeah, he should be here whenever. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, bet. So we go in the office with Coach Drew, and they end up taking my dad. So me and my dad was on a visit. We go in the office with Coach Drew, and at the end of the visit, you always gonna have your sit down with the head coach.
Right.
So we know that's coming. Like, that's after I finished hooping, took the shower, boom, go upstairs. And one of the assistant coaches came in the middle of, like, probably 2 minutes after the meeting started, and was like, Dad, come here. We want to show you the academics or whatever they brought him out there to do. And then Scott Drew looked at me and he was like, man, look, we want you to commit right now, today. It's your decision. Nobody else's decision. We want you to commit today.
Why you trying to do that without your dad in the room?
That's right. So I was like, well, tell me about Pierre Jackson.
Faces music.
Yeah, tell me about Pierre Jackson. And he just kind of not rambled, but he had a long explanation. And I was like, nah, I'm not ready to commit today. I still got some other schools I want to see. And I'm gonna go from there. And he was like, well, I can't promise you that, your scholarship will be there.
A famous line.
At the end. I said, I'm fine, I'm willing to bet. That's fine. And that's how that went. And that just rubbed me the wrong way. So,
Definitely.
so after that, I'm like, nah, I'm not coming to Baylor. And I ain't even taking an official visit to LSU.
Well, at that time, no, LSU was, I'm just be honest, it was shits.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when Trent Johnson was there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, that shit was horrible. I wouldn't have went there. I mean,
Yes, sir.
probably would have showed. Who was the assistant coaches there? Yeah, your name was Louisiana?
Nope.
Yeah, I would have took a visit.
Nope.
I probably would have went to a game.
No, nah, I'm gonna say that I did do that though, because the unofficial visits you pay for that yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
So, man, I went to buku football games and was standing on the sideline for real. I watched Patrick Peterson play against Georgia. I watched him play against West Virginia. That punt return he returned and did the Heisman.
Yeah.
I was like 20 feet from him when he did that. and then right after that, I went to school with Tyron. Tyron played basketball with us for a little while. So I went to go watch him play buku time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go up there often. So, I mean, I kind of probably rubbed them the wrong way, or they probably felt like, oh, he like it, but no, I wanted to see that game. I was going to them games. But it was UCLA, Texas, and Baylor. That was my top three.
Didn't you go on a visit to A&M?
Yeah, I took a visit to A&M.
Buzz was there?
Nuh-uh. Kennedy.
Billy Kennedy. He was at Saw. Well, I went to Saw East. He was at when I was at Saw East, and Billy Kennedy was
and Coach Sip was with him. Yep.
Sip was at A&M?
Sip was with him at A&M. He was recruiting me. Yep.
I didn't know Sip was at A&M.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yes, sir. And Sip and my dad got a good relationship. They kind of like hooped together.
Well, he from the booth, but he's a historian of basketball.
Yeah. And his uncle did his thing. Yeah, Glenn.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What is the biggest myth about basketball? because I know what it is from like for being a football guy, being a
Yeah.
football coach. I know what it is from my perspective.
Okay.
For me, it was like you could just for some reason the kids think like, all right, just throw a ball out there, we can go do it. We can go do it. I can
Yeah.
jump. I can do this.
I would say that's a big part of it, but dudes don't understand how detailed the game is. Like dudes don't take that into account or never talk about it for real. Going into that, stepping into that fire at all. Because like just getting ready for a game on the college level, like as a player, we would have say we play, say if today is Monday and we play Friday, we're gonna have practice, we're gonna work on our stuff Monday, Tuesday, playing against how they guard. The coach is gonna already know how they guard certain things. They're gonna guard the ball screen like this. They are going to press, they're gonna play this kind of zone. They might be a no middle team where they force you away from the middle all the time. You know what I'm saying? They might be a hard hedge team. They might be a trap the ball screen team. They might be a ice, keep you on the side team. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So the coach is gonna already know that. So that already work against you because you think you about to just go out there and hoop. No, people got a plan, and for every aspect of the game. Then you're gonna work. Then you're gonna go over their plays and how they want to score, like based on their personnel. So you might work on 7 plays during the week, or doing those however many days, couple days, because basketball is quick turnarounds.
Right.
So you might work on 7 plays. Like I tell this story about Kansas all the time. We will work on their plays in practice. We'll get to the game, and they'll have a whole new set of plays that we never seen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then the next game against Oklahoma, they'll have another set of plays. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Bill Self was doing stuff based on your personnel. You know what I'm saying? So working against that is what dudes do not take into account. How many hours these people are watching film, the coaches, looking at all your numbers, like what you shoot. Like right now, like when I do scouting reports and coaching, like I can tell you, he probably 60-40. When he drive, he going left 60% of the time. And when he go left, he gonna do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's try and force him right, because when he go right, he probably gonna try and snatch you and shoot a step back. That's if he make 5 of them, you gotta dap him off and say good game. But he don't want to shoot them all game. So stuff like that is what there's talking points in practice, in film, all of that. So like getting ready for when we watch film, they're gonna have the top 8 probably on the film. It's gonna be 6 to 10 clips each person. It's gonna be tendencies, numbers, how to guard. Boom, move on to the next person. Tendencies, numbers, how to guard. Next person. Then we're gonna get into the full team stuff. These plays, they run these plays around this time of the halves, and they look for these shots to start the game. They're usually looking for this. In transition, they run a secondary break like this.
Out of timeout, please.
Yep. All of that. ATOs, baseline out of bounds. That's a small part of the game. But if you can you can get 2 buckets, baseline out of bounds, you always in good shape. That's 2 possessions you done stole. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, like dudes have no idea. You know what I'm saying? They never talk about that.
Right.
Never. Like I got to a point, like definitely like back into my sophomore year, going into my junior year and on, I'm coming into the game, I already know your numbers. Like you might be 47 for 100 from 3 on the year. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I know you like catch and shoots. So I'm in the gap, stunting. Then I'm here so you don't feel comfortable catching this rhythm and stepping. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that make the world of difference.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know, say I'm guarding you, and I know when you come off this ball screen going left, you're gonna hesitate before you make a decision. So when you hesitate, I'm rushing you. You know what I'm saying? Like we work on that. just small stuff like that to throw the timing off of plays and stuff like that. So that's to answer your question. That's what people don't take into account at all.
And with that being said, I think that's why a lot of kids, when they get to college, they struggle
for sure,
because especially this generation, I'm starting to find kids struggle with retaining information.
Like they think information is real. They think it's a short.
That's like a real thing right now. Like this generation. I don't know if it was something in the week.
It's the attention.
It's the apps.
They cannot retain information.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big adjustment for kids, especially when they get to college. Because in high school, you can kind of get away with it not retaining information if you like that.
You
see what I'm saying? Yeah. But when you get to college, everybody just as good as you. So you gotta know them small details like you talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Or you ain't gonna have a fighting chance. And I think kids struggle with that, dog.
Yep.
They struggle with that.
Kids struggle with that.
I want to ask a question for the room. I just repeat it for everybody here. College basketball in its current stance, the viewership for a lot of people appears to be down. What are some of the things that has contributed now to the men's side? The women's have been doing okay. They've been pioneering something. But the men's basketball, for whatever reason, what are some of the things that y'all thinking that is starting to affect the viewership of college basketball? Because I think, let's look at this Final Four, for example. We had Auburn. We had Duke.
All number one seeds.
Yep. All number one seeds. Houston. We also had Florida.
Yeah.
But at least Auburn and I know Houston had some older players.
Right.
Some kids, college basketball to me, at least my position is, it's great when you see a bunch of 17 through 21-year-olds play.
Right.
When you get past 21, it starts to look like, what are we watching?
For sure. I'm with you.
Not to say that they can't play basketball, but it that luster starts to.
It's almost like
talking about that flash.
Yeah. What are some of the things that y'all think are contributing to men's college basketball? What can help? Because when you start looking at the college basketball, you start looking towards a draft, and it doesn't look. Once you get past that first pick, we starting to scratch some of our heads.
Yeah.
What are some things that think contributing to the effect of men's college basketball and that viewership?
For me, I think because we all pretty much the same age. Where we older than Felix. But when we was in high school or like younger, watching the NCAA, the conferences meant something. The ACC was the ACC, the Big East was the Big East.
Big East.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the team, you kind of knew what the coach, you knew what you was going to get out of a Tom Izzo team. You knew what you were going to get out of a Duke team. You knew what you were going to get out of a, Kansas, but with these super conferences, drawing every day, it's hard to
the new alignments
to just dial in and because it's free agency. Pretty much, it's free agency with everything. It's not just free agency with the transfer portal with kids just leaving all stuff, teams leaving left and right. And I don't think the Blue Bloods don't have an identity no more. And
that's a good point.
They're not Blue Bloods, but they're not mid majors. But they're just looking for the next. Everybody in that in between realm is looking for the next big thing. Izzo retirement. I'm gonna do this. Let me get there. This one retire. I'm gonna do this enough just to get on their radar so I can get there. And it's like the heart and soul of the programs are not there no more. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I see you.
I'm gonna go a little stuff further on what you're talking about. I'm a basketball junkie. Y'all know that, Javan. You might not know, but I'm definitely a basketball junkie. I just remember, again, Rick Pitino was my favorite coach of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what takes the excitement out of watching it, I remember Terry Rozier. He came in as a freshman. You see him come as a freshman, you're like, man, he got so much potential. I can't wait to see how he gonna look in 2 years or another year. He come back that sophomore year. He look a little better. Okay, this boy might be a pro.
Right.
And then after the season over, it's like, damn, is he gonna come back?
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell, is he gonna come back? Yeah. They decided to come back the boy's coming back next year.
We got a shot.
And we got Peyton Seaver coming in.
Yeah.
We got
Man, we got a shot. Like,
right.
and it builds that excitement
Right.
year in and year out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the next year you can't wait to see your team play.
Yeah.
And you can't wait to see that kid take that next step. And then the coaches, Jay Wright gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Coach K gone.
Yeah.
Jim Boeheim gone.
Roy Williams gone.
Roy Williams gone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm undefeated versus Roy Williams too.
ooh, that's a
Ooh.
big. That's big. That's big.
3-0.
You see what I'm saying? And so you look forward to seeing those coaches on the sideline and watching them during the halftime interviews and after the games, and all that is going.
Yeah.
All that is going. So these new coaches, and I'm glad these young coaches getting the
Opportunities. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Sadler,
Sadler.
youngest coach in the country.
Shout out.
21 seasons
Shout out to him.
in a row.
Shout
Shout out to my dog.
Shout out to Bug.
Yeah, shout out to Bug. But you know, a lot of people don't know these young coaches in the game right now. They
Correct.
still trying to create their identity. And I think that's playing a big part into the viewership. Because, you know, let's talk about the old heads.
Mhm.
When they put the TV on, they like, man, who is this little young grasshopper coaching Duke right here?
Sure.
Right.
Oh, that's John Shire,
Yeah.
man. He played at Duke.
And once
He
you,
did.
once you
Right.
realize it,
You know him?
He was
This
a
kid.
bucket.
And so they
wanna
not,
ring.
they not even really interested.
Yeah.
And that's just how it go, bro.
I'll go a step further on that because I remember. I think we were still doing it live. G. I think we were still doing. Yeah, we were still live. With the show before the podcast format. You had made a comment. And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't see it that way because you used to go because you was like going to every McDonald's All American game, and you was like, man, it's a bad year. I was like, man, it's never a bad year at the McDonald's All American game. Like, cause I remember because one day I like every time G would travel, I just something like this. Hey man, you make it that safe, just when he like, I said, man, what it looking like? He said, man, it's a bad year. I mean, it can't be a bad year. And then I watched it. I was like, this is horrible. Like it was unrecognizable, and that I think that had fallen over into
What you saying?
what
now?
you're seeing now.
now.
Yeah.
Because now, think about it. We talk about skill. Like, I still believe the more athletic basketball players are from the United States. When you talk about like true skill level, the overseas got us right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like just pure skills. And basketball went through, just like all college sports, like it went through eras. Like when the one and done started happening, everybody like, man, dang, we ain't keeping it. Cause I remember, being a Duke fan. When Lou Aldain came from overseas, like, that was like our first real one and done.
Actually, Corey McGetty was the first one done.
But like
He was pissed
He
about
was
that.
pissed about that. He was pissed.
Yeah.
Well, Corey McGetty, you hear me?
He was pissed.
But it was
Bad.
like
That
it
is
was like
McGetty, daddy lied to him.
McGetty left, and then but like Lou Aldain was like, oh yeah, we know we got him. He from overseas,
Right.
from England. Like he about to fit in good for at least we got him for at least 2. And he had a hell of a freshman year.
Gone.
And I'm like,
Gone.
yeah, here we go. Next year we got this coming back. Then we like for the 12th pick, Chicago Bulls select Lou Aldain. I think, what I'm saying? And I think, but like we got accustomed to the one and done. Like, all right, we knew Melo wasn't gonna stay. We knew this one wasn't gonna stay. We knew that one. He's like, all right, it kind of grew accustomed. Now it's like, I don't know if the kid that's suiting up in this jersey is even gonna be in this jersey halfway through the season.
Nah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson dropped out of Duke.
But so the piggyback on what he was saying. So I went and covered the McDonald's All American game and the practices and the whole event that week for about 7 years in a row. I stopped going.
What year was that?
It was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
This was like 3 years
I'm
ago.
trying to think of the class.
I stopped going because, bro, I'm in the game is like, that ain't shit.
That ain't nothing. That's the practices.
The practices is like where it go down at.
Right.
And so, I'm in the practices. It's Sam Presti, it's Danny Ainge. It's they in there. They watching. Bro. They in there. They got point guards in there. I don't want to say their names. Didn't even know how to come off a ball screen, dog. Like, I was in that bitch like, what? How are you a McDonald's All-American and you don't even know how to come off a ball screen? Like, how you don't know how to come all shoulder to shoulder? Like, it was like simple things they was telling them in the practices that had my mind going, had these NBA teams' mind going.
Right.
And, you know, we talking and stuff like that. I'm like, and dog, this is bad. And so I knew where the shit was headed.
What was
And,
coming?
yeah, and that's why you know, 5-7 years ago, you had more freshmen coming in making an impact.
Yeah.
That's not like that right now.
No, it's not a thing.
It's not a thing right now. That's why you see in all these older players doing their thing.
Right.
Because the IQ, the skill development is just so low with these kids, with this generation. I think that's another reason why people are not watching, because a lot of these old dudes like Clayton.
Yeah.
He came from Iona.
Right.
So when he gets to Florida, the average fan is like,
Who is this?
who is this guy?
Yeah.
Who is this dude? Elijah Martin
Yeah.
came from Florida Atlantic.
Right.
I feel you.
Who is this guy? Like, they don't know these people, but you know these McDonald's All-Americans.
Right.
But
You know-
they
you
get
know
into
Cooper
college
Flag,
and they like an afterthought now. And so all that's playing a factor, bro.
I
All
think
that's playing a factor.
There's so many kids reclassifying now. So now
Yeah.
you already, as a freshman going, we play college ball, you know what I'm saying? As a freshman going in, you already at a disadvantage. These guys bigger, stronger, faster than you. You might be special than them in some aspect, but as far as grown man strength and all that stuff, they got you.
Yep.
Now you reclassify, so now you a step behind as far as physicality wise. And it's starting to show. Their body's starting to break down early because they can't take the banging and all that stuff. At me as an older guy, I see a kid that, man, you 16 and you coming in here, you trying to get into my paint, ain't about to happen.
Right.
And you ain't gonna survive the game. I'm not maliciously trying to hurt you, but it's gonna be so physical on you
gonna
that
feel
you
me.
can't
You feel me?
Yeah.
come out of half.
Dog, they had dudes at the practice that they didn't even know how to hedge. And asking, like, what hedge mean?
Yeah. See.
Bro, what the
telling you.
fuck?
I think it's a bunch of things playing into that. All of which y'all talked about. I think even social media plays a part in that, because
Yeah.
dudes is they do a lot for the gram. Just to
Yep.
be honest, they do a lot for the gram. So the stuff that come with that. So like in high school, you might have 4 good plays. They're gonna loop them together, and you're gonna put it on Instagram. The whole city gonna love you,
Right.
no matter what you did or how you impacted the game.
Right.
And from that, you're gonna use the buzz from that to go do to next game, to go have another 4-5 spectacular plays
And loop them together.
and loop them together again. And then now everybody like, oh, he nice. Then you get to college, and all the details you have no idea about, because you wasn't worried about that, because you thought you was doing your thing, because everybody was loving on you.
All you is a dunker.
Right. Or all you could do is play one-on-one.
Yep.
You is not about to go to college and play. I don't care what level you on. You're not about to just play one-on-one all game. Dead. That's dead.
Or just do transition.
Right. That's dead. So you got that. Like you were saying, reclassing. Dudes is reclassing. It's not really too much of a thing in basketball for dudes to reclass, just because like dudes is getting money in high school now, so they ain't really tripping about. They ain't in a rush to get out of there.
I think Cooper Flag.
He reclassed
He
the other way, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to
Went
say.
early to school.
That's what I'm saying. He reclassed the other way, so
Yeah.
it worked out for him.
Yeah, it worked out for him. But he had too much money sitting there waiting. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? He had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But so social media, I would say. Also, I would say, like, from that, I think this is like a little microcosm of that. Dudes is not being held accountable at the level that they need to be. You know what I'm saying? So because of they getting the attention from wherever. These different outlets, the city following them, they got the city following. Like, you might even have a following in the South. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you from the South. So those two things, and then also being able to transfer as many times as you want. That's another thing too, because of that, like you were saying, the Blue Bloods don't really have a big identity no more, because if you're not a Power 5, really like a Power 3 conference, everybody a JUCO.
Mhm.
Everybody.
Yep. Stepping stone.
Right. Everybody. So it ain't like if y'all noticed this year in the NCAA tournament, it wasn't no Cinderella team.
No, I was tweeting that. I said, "Where's the Cinderella?"
Ain't no Cinderella teams because
the closest you had was St. Mary's.
Yeah, St. Mary's.
That's the closest you had.
St. Peter's too.
St. Peter's, yeah.
And but like Iona, Walter Campbell played for Iona. Imagine Rick Pitino ended up leaving to go take St. John's job. Cool, good job, stepping stone. You got back in the business, similar to Will Wade. Right. So imagine whoever got the Iona job right now. I don't even know, but if they was able to keep the team together,
right,
maybe they could have been a Cinderella team.
And he brought like 2 dudes with him from Iona to St. John's.
Right. And then they had dudes leave off that team and go to other high majors too.
Correct.
So stuff like that matters. And then and honestly, style of play. The game ain't the same as what it used to be, where we looking at these big old strong bigs that's touching the ball all the time and like big wings having the ball, coming shooting middies and posting up. No, we don't like. It's different. Right. It's more of a European game, space out game, and kind of trying to take on some of the identity of the NBA, just with different rules. You know what I'm saying? So I think all of that plays a part, and especially like for the old heads, the style of play part is what they don't like, and then also they feel like dudes is not loyal to one school, so that's hard to keep paying attention to. Like I got to figure out. All right, you was at Duke last year. You went to Florida State this year.
Yep.
Now this year you might go to LSU.
Yeah.
Because now dudes ain't staying at school to develop. They go and see
the money.
I done did enough this year so now I could go get a bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a bigger bag over there for me.
Right.
Bigger bag.
And like the high majors, they're looking at the lower major schools.
Yes.
All year long, they are like locked in, keenly locked in on the mid majors, the low majors. And if you killing, you doing your thing, we already know. Soon as the portal open, we're calling you.
Right.
Don't matter if you're in the portal or not, which is tampering. You can't do that. But there dudes,
third parties.
Yeah, they find ways. And now dudes got agents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like your agent could be working all of that behind the scenes way before you even announce
where you go.
That you go in the portal.
Yeah, or be way before your season over. You might be killing all the way up until January. Now your agent working behind the scenes.
Dude, it's crazy. They had the portal open while the tournament was going on.
Well, the tournament was going on.
That makes ridiculous. A travesty.
While the tournament's going on, the portals will be like, "Come on now,
it's like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?"
You telling them like, "Hey, this is what we doing. We literally said like, we want you to transfer. We want you to transfer. Like, this is your big job application. Go ahead, get the new spot."
I just think that the tournament is losing its luster season by season, and I'm at a place where you want to watch it, but when I watched it, I was looking forward to the guys performing in it and seeing what they could do for the followers if they were going to stay, or how that guy was going to look toward maybe going to play pro. And it's just not what I'm watching.
Yeah,
I'm watching the tournament like, dog, there's not that many pro prospects. There's not that many lottery picks coming out of this thing.
Right.
So as a consumer, right, you say to yourself, well, where are these lottery picks coming from, or where they be playing? Yeah. That's what you kind of want to see.
Right.
Then you want to see some players. Some guys gonna fall a lot, no big deal. Yeah. But you got familiar with some of them due to their college basketball play.
True.
And I think it's hard now to watch it because now you're saying to yourself, maybe they had a whole Final Four, and I think there's 1 or 2 lottery picks.
Right. So like the lottery picks are the cream of the crop. They're the top dudes for sure. And they majority of the time they're gonna be the youngest dudes too.
Correct.
Because the NBA want the younger dudes that they can build into whatever. But the dudes who are really good college players who might not get drafted or second round picks, or they're staying because they maximizing
the money,
the collectives,
and they window because, bro, they got dudes
it's a guaranteed check.
Yeah, like they got dudes getting M's in college now. M's. You know what I'm saying? And that's dudes that you wouldn't pick out a lineup. You know what I'm saying?
The money Elijah Morton told me he made this year. He sure ain't getting that overseas.
You see what I'm saying?
I think the last tournament I real deal enjoyed was the one where R.J. Hampton was in. Because the thing I used to like about the tournament, I like because I'm gonna follow my team. So I knew all the big shots and all like the little role players in the ACC, and I'll pay attention to LSU. But it was like when the tournament hit, and you would just hear names like, man, who is this? Who is this kid? Man, this RJ Hampton kid kind of good, man. He lighting up score. Oh, his dad the coach too. Oh man, this dope. Like hearing like the no name and then watching them go. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that no more because now they not staying. They not staying. They going.
Nah, they not. Yep.
Man, talk about dealing with the concussions, man. I know that played a huge role in how your career went.
Yeah, huge
and kind of
huge role.
Put it to a halt, man.
Yeah.
I know that probably was some adversity you went through in your life, and how you was able to deal with it.
It was hard. It was very, very, very tough. Because I felt like I was on a decent trajectory, to have a better career than I had. And not to say I had a bad career. I had a good career. But I still had goals that I hadn't reached and hadn't done, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stuff like that. So a concussion is not something that you can kind of like, I mean, and y'all know, but like, it's not something that you can like fake. Or like, you can't show up and be like, nah, I'm good.
No, that ain't how that work. That ain't how that work. Right?
No, that's not how they work. Concussions affect your life. Like forget athletics. It affect your life. Like when I had like 5 concussions in a small amount of time.
Yep.
It's a lot.
And in like 2 year and a half window.
It's a lot.
So the first one was like, all right, I've never had one for real before, but let me do what I need to do to to kind of get past it. Cool, I'll sit down, whatever y'all need me to do. Then I had the second one a good amount of time after that in practice. Just a freak play, like random play. But then after that, 3 and 4 were like months apart.
Ooh.
So they was talking about shutting me down. Like, nah, we'll give you the year back. We're just gonna shut you down.
Right.
I couldn't. There's no way I couldn't wrap my mind around that. Like, and for me, the third and fourth ones was so bad. Like, I was throwing up. I couldn't sleep in my bed because I couldn't lay down. I would get dizzy, and that'll turn into like a migraine. I couldn't. My appetite was pretty much gone.
Wow.
So I lost some weight, but I was like had to force myself to eat. So I was sleeping in like a chair, sitting straight up like this for a good amount of time for some months. Really, honestly, I don't know if I even said that out loud, but it got to a point, and this is bad. I don't recommend nobody ever do this. And I know people are doing this, but it was so bad to where, like when I had after I got the concussion, they take you through the test.
Yeah.
The 4th time, I was so good at the test that I knew what was coming. I knew the baseline, and I knew what I needed to do to pass this concussion test. So I was so good at the concussion test that they start having to find other ways to figure out if I was all right. Like my blood pressure, like that was the thing that told it all for them. Like my blood pressure was through the roof, but I was acting like I was all cool, calm, and collected. But like bright lights, waking up in the morning, getting used to the sun. They don't talk about all of that. Like you loud noises. You at a game, you trying to play it through the game, but you can't even lock in and focus. Number one, the lights is bright on the court. It's loud in there.
Right.
You like it's no way to escape stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So trying to fake like I'm all right and play through stuff like that, it was tough, and I probably shouldn't have did it, but to be honest, I felt like I was letting people down if I didn't play. I felt like I was letting like the city, to be honest.
Right.
Letting the city down because a lot of people was rooting for me and looking for me to play on them big Monday games and so that was a big part of it. I thought about that a lot, and then
your parents wasn't terrified about The whole situation?
Nah, because I was downplaying it to them too.
Mm.
And that was another thing. I didn't want them to have to worry about me.
Right.
So I was downplaying it to them.
Downplaying it
All of it. So like the only people who really knew how I was affected was my roommates. My teammates, really the two that live with me. Cause they would just have to really kind of take care of me for real.
They couldn't escape it. They were there.
Yeah, they were there. So they were seeing how I was trying to like nurse myself back to health. So and then like so with all of that, you if you acting like you all right, you gotta go to class.
Right.
And that was hard.
Right.
Damn.
Walk into class and go and sit in the class, because at Texas, I just told you, it was like 70,000 undergrad or somewhere around there.
Right.
One of the biggest schools in the country. So we ain't got no like regular classrooms.
No, this
is
is
auditoriums all for the majority until the second semester of my junior year. And then even those classes was 150.
That's big classes.
Considered a small class
right.
at Texas. You know what I'm saying? So dealing with that was tough, super tough. So, like you said, when Shaka first got there, that was a big part of my my like adjustment period, because I was coming off the fourth one, and he was coming in. He was trying to figure out, and that fourth one lingered for a long time. Like that was the one that kind of made me like changed my perspective on all of it, because the fourth one lingered for a long time, all the way until kind of like the off season, because I wouldn't have, like, my day-to-day stuff would be all right, but we'll start working out, start going too hard, I get automatic boom headache, migraine later on that night.
Right.
Or we lifting, and this a regular lift, like this is regular team lift. I've been doing this, been killing this since freshman year. And now, like, I don't know why my heart beating out my chest, and I feel like I'm about to panic. You know what I'm saying? But like just the little stuff like that, that really taking a effect on you. And the biggest thing for me was not sleeping good. That was the biggest thing for me, because it got to a point to where I just couldn't fake like I had a good attitude, because I just wasn't getting real good sleep. And then they really had to like take me through the real process of how.
What this is.
Yeah, or what this is. But I say this, that helped me, because all of that helped me, because when I got diagnosed with that blood clot, I kind of knew how to deal with it, even though it was super devastating.
Right.
But I kind of knew how to, deal with it, how to talk to myself. Self-talk, I think, is super important.
My last question. Parents out there who gonna listen to this and see this, what are some of the good times to get your kids into basketball? I know it's one of those sports where it's not like football, where you can get it to in some cases, your sophomore year or junior year, you can kind of plateau off. What are some of the good age timelines where kids should be getting into basketball, and what's some of the things they should be learning?
That's a real good question.
When they get into the basketball, what's some of the fundamental things that they should be trying to consider and learning?
I think you just said it, the fundamentals. The fundamentals. The best players in the world are amazing at the fundamentals. Amazing. Like, of course, you're going to have your flashy dudes like Kyrie, people like that. But if you watch Steph Curry,
that's an anomaly, though.
Right.
Yeah, he's an anomaly.
But like that's who these dudes is idolizing right now, because, like I was telling y'all earlier, they see what he's doing, how pretty it look and stuff like that. But he been doing this a long time. You know what I'm saying? This ain't just something I'm trying tonight to get on Instagram for my partners. No.
Right.
But like, so I would say the earlier the better, because times is a little different now, to where you have more competition to get to where you want to go.
I got you.
Because in high school now, to get a scholarship, you competing against overseas, transfer portal, JUCO, NAIA, and D2. So you competing against that. And having the fundamentals like down packed to where we know, you know what I'm saying, we can count on you for the fundamentals of the whole aspect of the game, like all aspects of the game. The fundamentals is always going to take you to where you need to go. Like, skills pay the bills, for real. You know what I'm saying? So
gotcha.
You have to be a skillful player. Like, you're not going to play at Florida just one. You're not going to play at Florida if you're just an athlete.
Right.
In basketball. You know what I'm saying? you're not getting recruited no more if you just an athlete in basketball. You need to be able to do things. Like, you need skills out there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just athleticism, like, oh, that dude can run and jump. Like, you might, if you're a big, you might can skate away like that. You know what I'm saying? Because bigs, 7-footers that can run and got good feet, that's like, ain't too many of them. But guards and wings and stuff like that, like, skills pay the bills for real. You need to be skillful, fundamental, and you need to understand the game. So that's why I said the earlier the better. Like, you need to be working on these fundamentals and fostering like a good mindset to where you watching the game, you watching the pros, you go and check out other games. Like, you're a basketball junkie, sports junkie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to always be learning. And that was one of the biggest parts of my childhood, like, growing up going to watch games. Yep. My dad and my coaches always took me to games. But I sought them out too, but
right, they always put you in.
Yeah, they always put me in it. Like, I still remember, like I was telling y'all, the first time I went to the Pelicans game and the first time I got the tickets from. Gilbert McGregor, shout out to him. One of my friends growing up, his dad was the color commentator for the Hornets, Gil McGregor, when they first got down here.
Right.
So he would get tickets, and by us going to school together, he ain't never have no partners to go to the game with. You know what I'm saying? Right. So he asked me one day, because it was just, he the only child, it was just his mama, his daddy, and him. And they would get however many tickets. They'll get more than enough for them.
Right.
So me and my dad would go, or my mom and two of my friends would go, or stuff like that. Like, I was seeing the game. You know what I'm saying?
Enhancing your IQ.
Yeah. So then working and using that, and then working on stuff I saw, but also like continuing to like wanting to get better and have that mindset to be like, it's me against all of the rest of the world, and I'm gonna carve out my own space. You know what I'm saying? So it started early for me. I didn't necessarily like, when I was young, like, if under 10, you couldn't have asked me and been like, what you want to do? I would never, I don't know if I'd have told you I wanted to be an NBA player or
right.
But I was super interested, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Super, super into it. I was always paying attention. Like I was telling, like Darren Williams was my favorite player growing up. Like, you don't pay attention to nobody like that if you ain't really into it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say the earlier the better. I started playing at 6 years old. I was on my first team at 6 years old. And from there, I just kept working.
Going.
Yeah. But it got to be a progression. And the detail, I mean, the fundamentals matter, though. Like, forget all the fluffy stuff, all of the, like, the details matter, the fundamentals matter. Can you dribble, pass, and shoot as a basketball player?
Whew. Not everybody can do that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that can't, they be at home. We're going to get somebody in the portal who is proven that he can dribble, pass, and shoot. He's done it already, and he older. Got a body on him already and everything.
Yep.
So come on, big dog. We got you.
Man, I think a lot of kids, when they are former athletes, they struggle with having an identity after their career is done.
True.
True. Now that you're going on into your second life, man, and your coaching journey, talk about how that's been going. I don't know too many people that in their first 2 years of coaching that wins a national championship.
Man.
But talk about how you got off into that and your thought process of being a college coach at this point in your career.
Yep. Good question. So number one, never wanted to be a coach. Never. My whole time playing, I never wanted to be a coach. I always wanted to be a GM for an NBA team. However I could get that, whatever that looked like. I wanted to, like, I went to school for, like, I had this planned out. I went to school for sports management, minor in business. Like, I wanted to be a GM. And who knows? I still might could. You never know.
Right. You look like a GM.
There we go.
You got the aura. You got the aura, bro. You got the aura.
Landry Fields out here.
Shout out Sam Presti, too.
Yeah. I fuck with Sam Presti. Yeah, I fuck with Sam Presti.
Under the radar.
You do a great job for the team.
You got that Landry Fields look.
There we go.
For the Hawks.
Yeah.
For the Hawks.
Yeah. They bad, man. You know, it's only like
He had the first pick. He ain't had anybody pick.
Yeah. But so that was what I thought was my plan or my path after I got done. Obviously I didn't end the game on my terms though. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Correct.
I was told I had a blood clot one day, you got it, and they shut me down the next day. Like, so that was eye opening for me because I wasn't ready for my next life. I wasn't ready. And you know, becoming a GM is not something that's like, it's no like real path to do that, and it's not something that's, you don't meet GMs all the time to be able to talk about it. No, it's only 30 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
In the world. So
in the world, Craig.
So you know, figuring out what was next was hard for me. So the advice I got, shout out to my pops, was just keep moving. Don't sit and sulk and feel sorry for yourself. This life, this happen to people all the time on different levels, on different stages. Different everything. You know what I'm saying? So like that don't mean stop. You built of some good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So carry that into whatever else. So I end up going volunteer at a couple different things. Volunteer at working kids out. Just watching games, volunteering for coaches, what I see how you can help. Going to coaches clinics. I went to Maul Monday's coaches clinic at
you did a real good job with that. Shout out to Maul.
At Loyola.
Yep.
And I showed up early and I was like, look, I just want to help and be around the game. Like this is it was taken from me. I want help.
Right.
However I can help, you know, I'm here. And I'm gonna be here all day today. When this camp in, boom, in tomorrow, I'm gonna be here all day tomorrow too. So I was there early before all the coaches got there until late to where we breaking the Loyola gym down. So they end up giving me a chance to be like a demonstrator. I don't know if y'all ever been to, you know, those
I was there, I remember.
Yeah. So I
Wade spoke it down.
Fact. Yep. So I was demonstrating. Like I was a demonstrator. And a few people caught on to my knowledge for the game at the at the clinic, because it might have been 10 coaches a day that presented or had a spill they went through. Like we might be covering these kind of drills or these sets or baseline out of bounds, and I was picking all that up like quick, and I was able to regurgitate it back to some of the dudes that was out there with me, and they were just playing that dudes that play at Loyola. They ain't never seen some of this basketball before in their life. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just doing it to make, like, to me, I was like, we can't be out here messing up the plays, bro. This is gonna look bad for Maul. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maul got Will Wade in here. He got Jerome Tang in here. He got Houston in here. He got, you know what I'm saying? So,
he got some coaches in here.
So, being from the city, we from the city.
That's
this is
pride.
what we, you know what I'm saying? How are we gonna come out here and just be messing the man whole event up because we can't retain no. So I took that upon myself. Like, I took that approach just because I was like, we're not about to come out here and look stupid. You know what I'm saying? No way. So I'm out there like really talking, coaching.
Right.
Like, nah, come right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? During the thing. And that worked out in my favor. So I ended up the next day after the clinic ended, Stacy called me and was like, man, look, my assistant just left. I see how you see the game. I would love to have you as my assistant coach, sleep on it. I don't know what you got going on. He didn't, like, I didn't tell him I was done.
Right.
He didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to God. That's God. But
right place, right time.
Yeah. So that was how I transitioned. Just kept moving, bro. I just kept trying to do different things to not help me feel sorry for myself.
Right.
And I was in the right place at the right time and prepared. And he offered me a job. And I ended up taking it. And then I fell in love with it. And then, you know, after that, it was just about giving what I learned of the game, you know, to the other next generation. But then also, when I was when I see Cause at first, I was scared as hell going into coaching. I had just like, come on, man, I had never coached. I was terrified.
Right.
You was coaching AAU, wasn't you?
Yeah, but that was while I was at Loyola.
And it was little kids too.
Yeah.
Younger kids too.
That was while I was at Loyola though, because you could do it at that level.
Right.
So I was scared, but the respect I was getting, which I wasn't thinking about, like, like obviously I had a basketball life and a career that people know about and stuff like that. But, I ain't see it. I still don't really see it that way, which is crazy. People get on me about that.
Right.
But seeing how the players saw me, like the respect they had for me, and how they would look to me for information. And I don't have all the answers. None of us do.
Yep.
But
I'm still learning.
Yeah, I'm still learning. But for them to come to me and seek information from me that I could have learned over the years, that meant the world to me.
That's like a high.
Yeah, meant the world to me. And then to see them take the information you give them, apply, and then be happy about the results they get, that's the thing.
That's a high, dog.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Because when they get the results, when they get some results that they couldn't see before, because of something that you told them to do, or some motivation that you gave them, or you know what I'm saying?
How you would do things.
Right.
That was addiction.
Yeah, that was like, that changed me. That changed me. And helped me see everything in a different light, for real, from that point on.
Happy to hear that, man.
Yeah.
My last question for you. I'm gonna use one of the G-isms, like, to help out the parents out there. I never saw it as much until, like, I actually understood what G was saying. G used to say that parents are the biggest dream killers. And I was like, man, they don't. Because I was looking at it and, like, drew a parent, like, as a parent, like, man, I'd never kill because I have a special needs son. I'm like, man, I'd never kill my kid's dreams and all stuff. But then, like, I went back and rewatched the episode, and, like, we had a kid that was about to go on a visit. So I'm just trying to, like, look, make sure you dress this way.
For sure.
Look them in the eye, shake your hand, all this stuff.
Showing them the way.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the mama come in and was like, my baby ranked this, that. Man, if they don't get it, we gonna go on to the next one. I say, oh, you don't understand the situation that this could put this kid in. Like,
for sure.
This is Alabama knocking at your door. This is Alabama. No other big schools is knocking at your door right now.
Right.
You about to go in for an official visit there. This don't grow on trees.
No, it don't.
So
It's not come often.
And I was like, man, it was like right after G said that happened, I was like, this is what he mean. So for somebody who's still training kids and all that stuff, and then, like, now is on the level of actually going into houses and recruiting players, what are some things that parents can do that can elevate their kid?
Great question. Number one, parents, I think, can just stop talking. Like, you don't have to sell them. You know what I'm saying? We recruiting them because we've seen what they're capable of and did the homework to know, like, number one, this is a good enough person, number one, to be in the environment that we have and share every day. And to also understand, like, you got to understand your kid too. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if your kid's number one player in the country, there's some humility that need to come with that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because number one that's a far way down to fall. You know what I'm saying? That's a far way down to fall.
God got a funny way of humbling you.
Right. And like, something I grew up on that my dad still tell me to this day. Pride must go before the fall.
I like that.
Pride before the fall. So usually if you're super prideful, you will fall at some point if you don't check it. And it's just life. So that's number one. I think just being super, super prideful about what your kid has accomplished, obtained, with, all of that different stuff. Because in the grand scheme of things, once you figure out where you're going, or if you reach the next level, none of that matter. You got to do it again.
Yep.
And then also too, parents probably should understand how coaches see recruits, athletes, and stuff like that. Like, we don't really, like, it's hard to put a lot of stock in the kid early on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Super hard. Number one, our livelihood depend on wins and losses.
Yep.
Number two, we have to develop the kid for however long we got them. It's a different world now, so we might have them for a few months, a year. So we have to be able to affect the kid in a way that could help him in his next opportunity, because that look good on us too, and it also helps the kid, like, more importantly. So getting in the way of that development of the kid is detrimental, because the kid might be a great kid, humble, really good, got really good ability, and is a great person. But if the mom and dad is, or eat one of the two, mom or dad, or a handler, because they got handlers now.
Yeah.
If they are off the chain and doing whatever, and
Hidden agendas.
Right. Hidden agendas, talking to all of these backdoor people, or at the games cutting up, you talking crazy about the coach in the stand, all of that stuff, like we pay attention to all of that, because that mess up the house that we building. You know what I'm saying? And that's for selfish reasons. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're in the grand scheme of things, we're getting you to come fit into something. You know what I'm saying? To come play a role and a part of something. This is not we bringing you here to, okay, who else y'all want to play with your kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not building this around. Now, there is kids that you know are the anomalies that you build a program around.
Right.
But even them are proven and have a certain level of humility that come with that. So parents need to understand that, like, humility is the best thing from us. Like, when we looking at kids as a coach, you know what I'm saying? To just understand that, like, dang, this kid can still grow. You know what I'm saying? This kid can still get better. Like, he see it that way. So, and his parents are helping him. They fostering that. So, this a good dude. Like, he might not be better than him, but we know he gonna work. You know what I'm saying? He gonna work, and he wants to be good. This dude feel like he already nice. And his parents talking like it. So, no matter what we tell him, when you get on the phone and go at the dorm or the apartments, his people gonna be working against us.
Yep.
So, and then now y'all coming to the school. Why he not playing? He better than such and such. Look at his. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, man, you have a night. You just go ahead and hit the portal, bro.
Right.
Like, maybe this not for you and me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you'd be better off somewhere else.
During times of family stress, if you need a church to hold your funeral services or a hall to hold your repast, you can contact us at Bethesda Community Event Center at 504-348-0132. We can accommodate all your repast and funeral needs, from a preacher to perform the services, to an organist that plays the music, the ability to stream it live for those who can't make it, and more. During your time of need, all of your arrangements can be made under one roof here at Bethesda Community Event Center. We're here to serve you. Give us a call when you're in need at 504-348-0132. Give your loved one a great homegoing event. Come second line at our center.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
A contractor is more than just a worker with a ladder on the back of his truck. Did you know that without a certificate of occupancy, you could not move back into your home? A contractor does more than just build or restore your home. He is responsible for making sure that all federal, state, and local regulations are met. Your general contractor has a professional designation. He is licensed, insured, and he is required to continue his education by state law, just like other professionals such as architects, engineers, and doctors. Let Step Construction be your licensed and insured general contractor, providing you peace of mind as your home is built or restored.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Favorite sneaker all time?
Dwight G Nike.
Go wrong with
Can't
it.
take the dude out of New Orleans. Can't take the New Orleans.
They go wrong with them, the fresh whites.
For sure.
I probably done bought about 20 pair in my life.
They all been to the front.
Hey, I had some for some shorts, and I had ones for the pants. You know, you put the pants. If the pants get on top of them, it's gonna leave a little.
Then a blue.
So I needed about 2 pairs a year. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Favorite movie all time?
Favorite movie all time? See, there's another one. I don't have one answer for you. I got two. Love and Basketball and All About the Benjamins.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Love and basketball.
I like also, and then too, like American Gangster.
Yeah,
And
Frank Lucas.
Yeah, Frank Lucas. And y'all ever seen Law? I know y'all Law Abiding Citizen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jamie Foxx.
And then Batman with the Joker.
Joker's a bad man.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talking about the Dark Knight?
Yeah.
The Heath
Gotcha.
Ledger joke.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Heath
Dark
Ledger.
Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Ben Affleck as Batman. Come on, bro. What we doing?
What we doing here?
Like, that's how we like y'all ruined it. Come on, bro. And then Buddy from Twilight that just was the last. Come on, bro. Couldn't even watch. I walked out the movie. I'm a
Right.
Batman dude, bro.
Right.
Oh, you in?
Right.
I walked out the movie.
Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't finish it. It took me 3 times to watch the same movie. I streamed it.
I
It took me 3 times.
I ain't never finished it.
I fell asleep.
I ain't never tried again.
I can't even tell you how it ended.
Bro, when I seen even on the previews, I seen his car. I was like, oh, we done.
Yeah.
Batman ain't never come weak like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Never.
yeah. Favorite place to visit?
Austin.
Oh, I've been on what? Bell Street? That's what it's. No, not Bell Street. That's
Sixth
Memphis.
Street.
That's
Yeah,
Memphis.
6th Street.
Yeah, with all the food trucks out there.
Yeah, they got a lot of other stuff out there
Yeah.
than
He
6th
got
Street.
That's I can see the way he looking at the little twinkle in his eyes.
This
Austin. I love Houston too.
H-Town.
Yeah.
South Side.
Look, bro.
Let's went to Houston in February. It's a nice time.
Nah, no doubt, no doubt. Nah, man, appreciate you coming on, bro.
Man,
We
for
definitely
sure.
got to get you on, man. When the season come back around next year, man, I'm gonna come check out some privateer games,
Come
man,
on, man.
and see y'all. You know, I know this season ain't go how y'all wanted it.
Right.
Nah,
You know, it's first in year 1,
yeah,
but you know, Rome wasn't built in one day.
for sure. No, indeed.
It's a
How
process.
that works. How that works. It's always gonna be a process. It's gonna be a
Always.
working thing.
If you'll allow a couple of West Bank people over
Man,
there,
absolutely.
We'll come,
I'm-
come and support.
Hey, you know, I'm welcome to all everybody, all New Orleans, even though y'all from the country.
You know, we ain't from the country, man. We from the best bank. That's why we here.
All right. You got it, dog. You got it.
Play our theme song.
You know it's a bounce song.
Yep.
Listen, welcome. Listen, appreciate everybody tuning to FanView Podcast. And listen, get locked in. FanView Podcast if you're on YouTube. FanView Podcast if you're on TikTok. FanView Podcast if you're on Facebook. It's FanView Podcast if you're on IG. FanView Nola if you're on X still. A lot going on X, baby. A lot going on. Lot
Don't
going on.
open it in public.
Don't do that. Trend.
I didn't even know I was following that.
Listen, man, we can't stop. We won't stop. I'm that boy Fred.
G Sports.
Coach Hurricane here and back at it again.
And yeah, you did. Get locked in, get subscribed, and we appreciate y'all tuning in. Till next time.